Hey everybody on YouTube, this is Ken with XMods Gaming with another video. Yeah, this video is going to be about the topic of disk rot. And the reason why I'm talking about this, because it seems like a lot of people have brought it up recently. Mostly, disc collector gamers out there, people that collect disc games. And I was watching like the live stream of Adam Karolik, if I'm saying his name right. So one of the people on YouTube I subscribe to, and people were asking him on his live stream, how do you prevent disc rot from happening? And he said, well, that just sucks. There's not much you can do about it. And what disc rot is like, if you ever owned a CD or even a DVD long enough to where kind of like the foil, the aluminum on the top starts to flake off, you can see through the disc. This happened to me maybe a few times. Mostly it's like burned music and stuff from back in the day when like CD burners first came out. Stuff I still kind of wanted to listen to, so I kept it around. The way to tell is you just hold your disc up to the light, and if light shines through it, I know, like, when it comes to CDRs, you'll get some kind of transparency, especially on the cheaper CDRs, but the light will shine through it, and then excuse me, that's how you have disc rot. But yeah, as you can tell right now, it's snowing, and it's April 14th and it's snowing out in Idaho, actually. But anyways, you can see through the disc. Even more so, there's layers. You have the polycarbonate layer, which is the part that you try not to get scratched, and then you have the ink layer, when it comes to CDRs, or the reed layer, whatever. I think it's still made out of some kind of ink. Even like the press disc, the foil layer, which honestly the foil layer, you can't get that damaged at all. There might be a very you might have a disc that has a damaged foil layer, like on the far edge of it or something, and it might still read. That means just the data's not written all the way to that far edge of the CD or DVD. But anyways, a lot of people say, okay, keep your games in a dry, no sunlight climate. I live in Idaho, so it's always dry here for the most part. If you live in Arizona, it's dry. Your worst enemy is probably going to be heat. So you don't want to keep your games in the, in the garage or the basement or in the attic. But the solution I have, the point I'm making, there is a solution. Now, if you're a game collector, sorry, the solution's not going to work for you, because you're mostly into the, kind of like the packaging, the artwork, if it's sealed or not. Even if it's a sealed game, it can still suffer from disc rot. Granted, it might take longer, but there's always that opportunity. So my solution is modding your console. And I can't, I thought about this when I modded my PlayStation 1, and I had a game excuse me, it wouldn't play, and so I put it in my computer, and my computer can read it because that's more powerful laser, more faster read speed. So I put it on my computer and then made a ISO image of that game, which was, you know, happens to be Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 3 or 2. But I've been wanting to play this game. I even had the game resurfaced, and the bottom of it was so damaged where, you know, it wouldn't work in like a 1x or 2x reader. And computer drives can actually, you know, calculate and data correct and stuff like that. You know, there's a little bit more technology to them than some of the older disk drives you find in like your PS1 or your, you know, your Sega CD. So I made a copy of that game and it plays fine after when I modded my PlayStation 1. So I suggest checking out that video. I even have the diagram in the comments. I didn't mention that during the video. I should have, because I wasn't sure if I was going to put it in the comments or not. But I have a pretty good diagram on there if you're using my model, you know, PlayStation 1. So when you buy a mod chip, it goes by model. So check that video out if you're interested. But I was like, well, wait a minute, I found a solution here to the disk rot issue. You could just go online, burn your game you had. To me, it's not piracy if you could prove, like, oh, here's the case for it, here's the damaged disk, here's my copy, sue me, you know. So, you know, everyone might argue, well, that copy is only good for the life of the copy to own, so you can't make another copy. But, you know, it kind of makes, it depends on your opinion. I know a lot of game companies are not making, on probably 90% of these games out there, they're not making any revenue from them, especially with these older consoles. And with the Sega CD, you can just flat out burn your games. That's how I do it, because there's no way in hell I'm paying $300 for a copy of Snatcher that might be suffering from disk rot, you know, or in the process of rotting away in existence. Or, you know, I think that game might be up to $1,000 now. It's kind of hard to tell, you know. I haven't cared to look, because I can just go, and I'm a gamer, so I can just go and burn the game. And that's all I'm saying, guys. I found a solution to disk rot, and it's for all the modders out there. You know, like you know, your Game Tech USA, your Luke Morris 1, people like myself, everybody out there that mods. And, you know, they also change capacitors on circuit boards, so you can even you can actually make a console last forever if you know what you're doing. You know, electronic components can be repaired, replaced. You know, chips are out of circulation, but, you know, as long as you don't have a bad chip or anything, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, get your consoles modded. That's what I'm trying to say in this video. Even if you're a collector, you know, I know you like the physical stuff. You might not even play the games all that much. I know a lot of you do, you know. But yeah, go online, figure out how to mod your console. You know, maybe even buy a pre-modded console if you're not good at it, you know. Not saying you suck or anything. I'm just saying sometimes that's just the best way to go, you know. It's like the Sega CD. I replaced the laser. That costs like 16 bucks. I replaced some capacitors, you know, that costs about $5 or $6, but the time and knowledge and research and stuff, you know, I could have bought one that someone already done all that to on eBay for probably $100, and still been fine. So that's all I'm trying to say, guys. You know, there is a solution to disk rot. It's not, you know, doom and gloom, like, oh, well, you know, it's like optical media. It's not really worth collecting, in my opinion, just because of the disk rot and the scratches and stuff like that. I do love CDs. Yeah, I wish the industry still has CDs. As far as computers and stuff, you know, I know a lot of new computers and stuff don't have it. It's getting harder to find CDRs and stuff to write your discs to, so that's another problem. Every time I go into a secondhand store and I see like a sealed package of like 50 pack of DVDs and the 50 pack of CDs that someone's just like, oh, CDs are old, and donate them to the Goodwill or whatever. I go in there and snatch them up for $1. You know, 50 CDs for $1, you can't really complain about that. And I don't care how old they are, you know. The key with CDRs, if you burn them, if you reburn them every, like, you know, 5 to 10 years, they're usually okay. You know, you might have a bit that might vanish or something like that, and even then you can go online and burn, you know. So I believe in preservation, where you can actually, where these people put games online on the internet. I know a lot of even like game manufacturers go, oh well, our server crashed, it had all those games on them, like, you know, 20 years ago. Oh, we'll just get the copies from these people that have been preserving them, been archiving these games from the gamers, and then we'll release that game in some kind of compilation disc. So things like that have been out there and been around for a while. But this video is going a little bit long, but yeah, I thought I would open up the discussion, say there is a solution called modding your console and not really collect. If you're a gamer, that's a good idea. You know, if you're a collector, hey, what can you do? You know, you're gonna collect the best of the best and probably sell your collection before your disc rots away. All right, this is Ken with Xmods. Until next time.